The annals of internet history are littered with cautionary tales.
I had no idea how profoundly this would affect my life.
From young people who became internet famous only to have that fame ruin their lives.
Local harassment at school, harassment on the internet.
From Star Wars kid,
a young teen swinging around a golf ball retriever pretending it was a lightsaber,
to overly attached girlfriend.
I just decided to stare straight into my webcam and make the creepiest face I could make.
To success kid.
It's weird to be famous as a baby.
Many viral stars of the early internet did not intend to become memes, or even consent to it in some cases.
He took the kids who leaked his video to court,
ending up in years-long battles to reclaim their intellectual property, their identities, and even their mental health.
He was forced to change schools.
And yet, surveys show that a majority of kids today aspire to become internet famous.
Kids are seeing it. It looks fun. They want to be famous. We wanted to be famous. That's how it works.
And so, in a world where social media churn is more lucrative and more brutal than ever before, is there a way to achieve viral infamy and not have it screw up your kid's life?
Along with learning my ABCs, I learned that in a viral video, I rarely think about it.
We'll talk to the internet's favorite laughing baby, who owned the World Wide Web after her mom posted a video of the family dog popping bubbles.
It was really just to share with friends and family. It wasn't meant for mass consumption.
15 years later, little Molly is almost all grown up and living the happy, normal life of an average teenager, thanks to parents who set the virtual boundaries that allowed that to happen.
We don't want to ruin the dynamic that we have as a family because this family is paramount. It is the absolute most important thing.
I'm Dusty Weiss from PodCamp Media. This is Lead Balloon, a podcast about notable tales of PR, marketing, and branding told by the well-meaning folks who lived them. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you're following or subscribing to this podcast on your favorite app and check out PodCamp Media on social. The subject of today's episode is a 16-year-old young woman named Molly who has asked us to use her first name only. And the reason for that is, despite having been one of the most famous babies on the internet, she is not easily Googleable. And she likes it that way.
I was 9 months old. I have no recollection of it. And so I feel like it's going to hit me like sometime later in my life. I'm like, holy crap. I don't know. I don't really have much to feel about it. It's just kind of an icebreaker. I just kind of like, oh, I have a viral video. And that's kind of like it.
Now, I know that there have been a lot of famous babies on the internet. Molly's the one where her mom off camera blows some bubbles, and then the dog, Benny, jumps up and pops the bubbles, and then the magic happens. I have dropped a link in the episode description just in case you needed a refresher. But like so many viral sensations from that era, Molly's parents, Kevin and Jess, tell me that Molly's fame happened unexpectedly and almost entirely by accident.
It was a pretty normal, quiet, suburban life. We had a 9-month-old daughter, a dog. I worked full-time. Jess was a stay-at-home mom. We were the absolute most average people in existence.
Super average. Yeah, right. We definitely thrived on routine in our house. So we were just, hanging around, playing with toys. And I had the radio on at the time. And fortunately had the foresight to shut it off so that wasn't playing in the background of the video. Because then we wouldn't have been able to do anything with it.
Copyright strike.
Yeah. Somebody had given her, maybe for Easter, had given her the bubbles thing. And the dog, just instantly went for it in full protection mode and wasn't going to let anything harm her. And then obviously, the hilarity ensued.
I know that there have been a lot of cute dog and baby videos on the internet over the years, and at the risk of undermining my journalistic credibility here, I'm going to go ahead and call it that this is the cutest video on the internet of a dog and a baby. I mean, it's got everything. The dogged commitment as Benny hunts down and pops every last bubble, the pure adoration in baby Molly's eyes as she watches him do it, and then, of course, that laugh. That's the sound of the first day of spring.
The absolute joy that you can hear in her laugh and just the childhood innocence. I started recording it because I thought, oh, this is so funny. And, Kevin's at work and he's not going to get to see it. So let's record it so we could send it to him and then to my parents and his parents. And, it wasn't meant for mass consumption.
I wanted to ask, actually, because this was in 2011. And so the iPhone, the smartphone thing was still, everybody had them, but it was still sort of transitioning to the point where everybody used them for everything. Was this shot on a smartphone or was this shot on a classic video camera?
It was actually on the iPod Touch.
And I think I've still got it, as a matter of fact, in a drawer. And by the way, that was a testament to, at the time, we were trying to save money. So she had an iPod Touch that only worked on Wi-Fi, and I had the smartphone. She had like a flip phone. Yeah. So we were actually being cheap at the time.
Yeah.
Molly, do you know what an iPod Touch is?
Yes, I know what an iPod Touch is.
Then you're well ahead of the generational curve there.
Yeah.
That is a piece of equipment that already belongs in a museum.
That's true.
Really. It's like you get the iPhone without the phone and without cellular. So as long as you're on Wi-Fi somewhere, it was great.
Works great.
Oh, that's so good. Fun fact, I may actually have the distinction of having been one of the first dozen or so people to see this viral video that was eventually seen by tens of millions of people. In 2011, I was working as a news reporter at WTDY Radio in Madison, Wisconsin, and Kevin was a coworker there who popped into the newsroom one afternoon and proudly showed us the video on his phone.
She had texted me and said, this might be the best video I've ever made. And she sent it to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. This is so great. And, thought it was really funny. And I knew we had something special.
But Jess says when they uploaded it to YouTube, it wasn't with the intent of going viral.
It was really just to share with friends and family because we had other videos on there that were just, I guess, as the kids would say, like nothing burgers. It was just like hanging out around the house, like, oh, look at the kid playing with the toy. It had very like 80s home video kind of feel.
What happened was a friend of ours, because we had shared it with a bunch of our friends. And it was a friend of ours named Kyle Brigham. He worked for internet marketing agency, still does, out of Chicago. And he submitted it to this blog called Stuff I Stole from the Internet. It was like a Tumblr blog, but it was really popular. And he submitted it like at 11 o'clock at night. And we got this email from him that we read first thing in the morning that said, hey, just want to let you guys know I submitted this to this site. And they almost never take submissions right away, but they did. And by the time we read that at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, it had already blown up. It was literally overnight. And by that afternoon, we were getting emails from Inside Edition, all these different TV agency outlets. And again, overnight, it literally just blew up.
Mm-hmm. How were you feeling in that moment? Take me back to what was going through your head.
Oh, just buzzing. It was crazy. We went out for dinner that night to Buffalo Wild Wings, which is always a great place to take your toddler because they just stare at the TV. So it's like you get 30 minutes of quiet time, right? So we were sitting at the table and I'm on my iPod Touch on the Wi-Fi and Kevin's on his phone. And we're just we keep checking the numbers and keep checking email and all of this feedback. And we're just like, oh my gosh. And we had to be like, okay, put the phones down. This is too much. But the general initial excitement over it was just like a crazy adrenaline rush, I think, because it's like, what does this mean? And where is this going? And how far does this go? And how long does it last?
The fleeting fame came fast and furious. Within days, the video had been featured on The Today Show.
It's the time of the week when Sarah puts you ahead of the curve on the next big internet sensation video.
That is correct. And what can be cuter than a laughing baby and a dog? Pretty much nothing. No. Check out 10-month-old Molly and Benny the dog and their encounter with Mom's Bubbles.
Huffington Post, ABC News.
Oh, that is the best. That rivals Willis's laugh. This is 10-month-old Molly. She's so amused by her family pet that she just can't stop laughing.
And there was even an offer to fly the entire family out to New York for a live in-studio television appearance.
Fox News on Easter Sunday, and they were insisting that we're like, we'd love to come, but we don't want to bring the dog with us. We don't want to fly the dog to New York because he would not travel well at all. And they were like, well, we want the whole thing, and because we want to recreate the video and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, we already did that. That's not going to work. Because our dog just was not having it. And
the one that we did in the studio, the news anchor, she had bubbles and she's like, let's give this a try. And the dog just like instantly, he went behind our legs and was like, no, I'm not doing this.
He hid the whole time.
Yeah, he hid.
Well, Benny was a rescue dog, right?
He was.
Yes.
And rescue dogs, I've been a rescue dog parent myself too, but sometimes they're not necessarily going to get excited about bright, loud rooms with tons of people moving around.
No, and he didn't like changes of scenery very much either. Like, it didn't matter where it was. If it was not the house or somewhere familiar to him, he wasn't comfortable. So he didn't mind people, but trying to go to a strange place with strange people doing strange things, he was not having it. We made other appearances on like a lot of local TV shows and whatnot. We did it all via Skype at the time. So we were able to do that at least comfortably, or ones that we could do locally in the studio.
Appearing on the news was one thing, but Kevin and Jess say it was the pop culture call-outs on programs like Conan O'Brien that really drove home the impact the video was having.
So Conan introduced the video. He's like, oh, you got to see this video.
This one is too cute not to share. It's a baby laughing hysterically as a dog jumps around trying to eat bubbles. It's just fun. Take a look.
In the middle of it, like right as she started laughing, Will Ferrell cut in.
La Raza is coming for you, S.A.
And it was part of this joke that they had between them where he was like threatening Conan.
I'm going to take that beard and give it a burial at sea. And by burial at sea, I mean flush it down my toilet. Your beard makes me vomit.
And I'm like, oh my God, our kid was part of an inside joke with Will Ferrell and Conan.
I was about to say Will Ferrell.
I don't think we can top this.
My straight razor is going to do the lambada on your face.
So as this newfound and temporary fame sort of exploded, what conversations were you guys having at home about balancing the opportunity, which was immense, with the need to use caution, particularly as it pertained to Molly growing up and having a normal childhood? What did those conversations sound like?
Well, the first things that we started to do is we started to ask around to some of our attorney friends because, you know, all of a sudden we were getting presented with licensing deals and contracts and stuff like that we didn't know what they meant or what was standard or what we were being taken advantage of. So we started like calling around asking for attorneys to help review these things. At the time, there was another viral video that went shortly before that was the guy ripping paper and the baby was laughing at it.
The ripping paper baby.
Laughing baby, yep.
Yeah, we actually reached out to that guy and we're like, what do we do?
Right.
Because we had never been here before.
And we had been contacted by an agent who said that he worked with that family as well. So our initial line of questioning was like, okay, how do we do this? And also, do you trust this guy? As a fellow parent, is this somebody who can be trusted?
And it was a guy that was literally building, he was based out of London. He was building an agency specifically for viral videos. That was his specialty. So he saw this need of people like us and was like, I'll handle all this for you. I'll handle all the requests and do the negotiation for you. So we talked to him, we let him take it over, and that helped us relax quite a bit because that took a lot of the pressure and a lot of the mystery out of it. I mean, we still had the chance to review everything because he was receiving all the requests or anything we did, we just forwarded it to him. And as time progressed too, and we didn't have stalkers showing up at our house or anything like that, we're like, okay, this is going to be okay. This is going to be fine.
And as far as like keeping things normal at home for childhood for her, you know, I still made some videos of her. A couple of them got put onto the YouTube channel. But for the most part, it was kind of like, you know, you recognize when you got the lightning in a bottle and anything else that you do just isn't going to amount to that. So it was kind of like, I'm not wanting to continue to upload things. So just didn't have a desire to continue to live in any kind of limelight.
Yeah, and as far as Molly goes, the celebrityness went straight to her head. All she wanted was the best apple juice.
Only the best macaroni and cheese.
I mean, you want to talk about prima donna.
Right?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Molly, obviously you don't remember taping the video and probably the initial hubbub and all of that, but what is your first memory of it? Like, I joke with my kids that I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't know that Luke Skywalker was Darth Vader's son. Like, that's just something that I've always known. Is this just something that you've always known?
I mean, I don't even know my first memory of it. Like, I just grew up being like, oh yeah, that viral video that I have. Along with learning my ABCs, I learned that in a viral video, you know? Like, I don't really remember anything. It's just been there ever since.
But you do manage to share with your friends quite a bit.
Oh, all the time. And I always forget to as well. It's so funny. Like, literally yesterday, there's this girl I've been friends with for a year now. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, I'm doing this podcast thing tomorrow for like my viral video. And she was like, you have a viral video? And I was like, oh, I didn't tell you. Anywho, long story short, I have a viral video. I pull up the video, I show it to her. And I'm like, it has 11 million views and then all the re-uploads. And I've been all over TV and everything. But like, I don't know, all the time I'm always just like, yeah, I have a viral video. But
This is a viral video.
Yeah, no big deal.
So, like, you forget to tell people about it. Like, is there an amount of time that you wait to tell someone about it, or is just not a thing that you think about?
I rarely think about it. I think about it like once a week. I'll be talking about something and then I'll be like, wait, you're a new friend. You don't know this, but I have a viral video. Yeah, I always just kind of casually drop it. And my friends are always like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me this? And I was like, I don't know.
What's like the craziest way that it's ever come up? Has anybody ever like found it out about you without your telling them? Like a teacher at school or somebody like that?
No. Because again, like, it doesn't look anything like me. It doesn't have my name plastered all over it. It isn't, tied to any of my social media. I just have had friends like comment on the YouTube video being like, I go to school with her, like that will happen.
Do you feel really good about being able to like turn your relationship with this viral video on and off? Like, you can be that kid who was YouTube famous when you want to be, but then also just be a normal kid?
Yeah, I was going to, like, it's nice to be, still normal, like being like, I'm just, a normal teenage girl, but I don't know, every once in a while, like specifically when I bring up the video, I'm always like, yeah, I was super viral and,
You get to pick and choose when you get to brag about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as many other internet celebrities have discovered over the years, you don't get to pick and choose what the internet does with your name, image, and likeness once you've become a full-blown meme. And Molly's getting to have a normal childhood was far from a sure thing in 2011. So, coming up after the break, Jess and Kevin find out just how much work goes into managing viral intellectual property on the internet.
You need to be cautious about anything that you sign, read the fine print,
and tell us the secrets to raising a well-adjusted child celebrity.
We always eat dinner together and phones are not allowed at the table.
That's all coming up in a minute here on Lead Balloon. There is something that I need to get better at as a business owner, and that is bragging on the longevity of our client relationships here at PodCamp Media, because we're a podcast production agency for brands from all over North America. And where other production companies typically work with a brand for a dozen, 10, even 6 episodes, we have like insane client retention. Our clients are coming back year after year, episode after episode, because they find value in our work. Just a few examples here. We've been making the Cobcast now since 2020, 63 episodes. The Farm Smart podcast first aired in 2021, 72 episodes. And the Path to Owning It by Provide, fintech for small businesses, 73 episodes since 2022 and more on the way. I try to stay humble about it, but our clients here at PodCamp Media enjoy working with us to the point where they have stuck with us for the long run. They have found a ton of value in having a professionally produced podcast, and so will you. We have got some capacity right now for new clients, and I'd love to hear more about your plans for the podcast space. Visit podcampmedia.com, and let's get started today telling your brand story.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bull spend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had, impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Growing a successful business has never been easy. But whether you're navigating a complex industry or trying to reinvent one, our breadth of banking experts are here to collaborate on market-proven solutions. At KeyBank, we're built to grow with your changing needs because we're not just here for the business you are now, we're here for the business you'll become. Reimagine business as usual. KeyBank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/B2B.
This is Lead Balloon, and I'm Dusty Weiss. As spring turned to summer in 2011, the initial adrenaline rush of their daughter Molly's viral internet fame had faded away. And for parents Jess and Kevin, the stark realities of running a booming intellectual property business interest were starting to set in.
Through all of the licensing that we've been able to do from that and the Google ad revenue, we were able to put together a nice savings account for her to use towards education after high school. So in that sense, it has been a bit life-changing.
To their great credit, Jess and Kevin quickly arrived at the conclusion that the money was not theirs. They resisted the temptation to exploit Molly's success and instead devoted themselves to stewarding her earnings and the use of her public image, which was not a small job by any stretch, as dozens, even hundreds of other YouTubers would try to pirate and re-upload Molly's video and cash in themselves.
I spent hours, so many hours, just like searching through YouTube, trying to find people that had uploaded it. Because back then, people were just taking your video, re-uploading it, naming it the same thing, and getting away with it. And then they were able to get monetization off of it themselves. And that's what really irritated me, because I was like, that's taking something that is supposed to be my daughter's for yourself when it's not yours. And that's just beyond the child privacy issues of somebody else uploading a video of my child without my permission. But I got so quick at filing YouTube copyright claims. Like for a while, I had like the string of letters at the end of like the identifier for the YouTube video memorized because you had to type it in every time, say like, this is the link for my video. This is the link where it's imposter. And you have to sign an affidavit every time saying that, this is my video. I swear I'm not being incorrect and everything like that. So that was a lot.
And then, of course, there were the compilation videos that kept coming up where they were splicing together compilations. So it became a time, I think, within like maybe 6 months or a year where it was in so many places and it was just impossible to stop. And we had gotten to a point where the traffic was already kind of slowing anyway. So, but still once in a while I'd get a message from somebody saying, "Oh, is this your video?" And it's like, "Yeah, thanks. We're going to go 9 down."
I always felt bad when someone would send it to us on Facebook being like, "Oh my gosh, look what popped up. How cool." And I'm like, "Thank you, copyright claim."
It's not cool. It's not cool.
Exactly.
It's cool for you, but not for me.
I think it's really interesting the way that you frame that, especially now in this era of like short form viral video in which we live. You guys really got a taste of what people must deal with all the time now, where TikTok, Instagram Reels, I feel like 75% of what comes across my feed is like pirated content.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I would argue it's probably even more out of control now than it was back then in that Wild West era of the internet.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned that because, again, when this happened, viral videos were a new concept. They were novel. Like, oh, everybody's talking about this cat video. And so we were as part of that initial wave. And now there's a viral video every day.
Well, and viral video in different echo chambers. Like the feed that you're served is different from the feed that I'm served, where back then we were all sort of feeding from the same stream of viral content.
And I think YouTube wasn't even really serving up a lot of suggested content at the time. It was like people had to come across it and then send it to people to get things to take off.
And of course, with the traditional media still being as big as it was at the time, the fact that it was broadcast, it was featured in all these news stories. Again, that's not happening in an era of where literally millions of videos are getting uploaded every day and they're all going viral.
But while the pace and the volume of video virality have changed significantly over the last 15 years, Kevin and Jess say that there are several key takeaways from their experience that still hold true today.
You need to be cautious about anything that you sign. Read the fine print. For example, if you even submit your video to America's Funniest Home Videos, it is now theirs. You do not own the video anymore. You cannot license the video anymore. You surrender every right that you have.
Yeah, we had a lot of people ask us about that. Like, oh, you should submit it to them. We're like, no, because you give up ownership of the video.
You give up ownership for a chance to maybe win $10,000.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously $10,000 is fantastic, but you no longer own your video.
And that's when you upload it. It's not when it's on the show. It's as soon as you upload it, it's theirs.
It's theirs.
And who reads the fine print anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we did, because we were working with a lawyer at the time who was reviewing another contract. And, we're like, what is in perpetuity and intellectual property? And, what do these things mean? So then when we were looking at America's Funniest Videos, I was like, oh, no. Like, this needs to remain our video. It is not anybody else's.
You had mentioned that you were able to capture a lot of licensing from this and sort of set aside a nest egg for Molly. And I don't want specific figures, but have they told you how much is sitting in an account for you there someday?
Mm-mm.
Have they given you any idea?
No, me and my friends tried to do the math once and we're like, I don't know if that's it.
I mean, how could you ever?
So, right? We're like, okay, million views to money ratio YouTube. Like, like we just did that in middle school. Like we were trying to figure it out because we were curious, but I still have no idea. They're always just like, until you get to college, when we start figuring that stuff out. So I'll figure out in a few years.
Yep.
I seem to remember Kevin passing you in the hallway and we were chit-chatting about it. And you said something to the effect of, well, I'm just really glad that my daughter's never going to have to worry about paying for college. Is that kind of what it turned out? And what's your plan for sort of giving the keys to those accounts to Molly someday?
I hope so anyway.
Who knows?
So yeah, who knows? In a couple more years, once she's, ready to, once she decides what she wants to do after high school and where she wants to go with her life, everything that we did earn from it has been set aside for her. We didn't touch any of that. So it is solely for her benefit. The interesting thing is with Molly calculating the YouTube revenue, even at that time that the video went viral, the algorithms and the monetization was changing even while we were there, because at the time they were still paying pretty well, but that started changing pretty quickly. And so we started seeing less and less and less and less from the YouTube revenue. And we were making it up more on licensing deals. Like the biggest licensing deal we got was to have the video featured in a Brazilian cell phone commercial. And there was a couple of videos in Japan where it was licensed. I mean, Molly was huge in Japan. Huge in Japan. I think I've still got the printout from when it was on the front page of Yahoo Japan. And there's Molly right there on the front page of Yahoo Japan. And
she was on the front of the MSN website too. My dad printed that out and framed it.
Oh, he was so proud of that. Proud of that. But yeah, I mean, all of that stuff, again, we set it aside. That's for her to benefit when she's ready.
Molly, when you hear your parents talk about this moment in time when they were your parents, but they were also essentially your talent managers too, and they put a lot of time and effort and thought into making sure that you were going to be provided for, but also protected, and that you were still going to get to have a normal childhood. How does that make you feel about your folks?
I'm very deeply grateful for it. And I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff at all. I'm very, 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 very thankful and fortunate for them. So
we totally coached her to say that.
There's a script right behind the camera. Okay.
You'll get your Apple Cash after the call.
Yay!
You guys seem like you get along really, really well as a family. Yeah. I would go out on a limb and say that there are a lot of parents that wish that they had a relationship with their teenage daughter like you guys have with yours.
Oh, we're very fortunate. She's a great kid, and she has a very good heart, and thank our lucky stars every day that she is well adjusted as she is.
Of course, you can make an argument that lucky stars don't have all that much to do with it, that it takes a strong family bond, careful foresight, and ironclad convictions to survive a brush with viral fame and still preserve what really matters. And for the millions of social media parents who chase virality today, Kevin and Jess say that it's important to keep everything in perspective if and when you actually catch it.
It's going to be overwhelming at first, and you're going to take so much criticism, and you're going to, I can't even tell you how many people thought that we were endangering our dog, we were poisoning our dog, oh, the dog is going to maul the baby.
Yeah.
There was a lot of presumptions made about us and our family and the dynamic, and it's you saw literally a 1-minute sliver of our life. That is literally all you saw. I guess it's one takeaway is don't take it so seriously. Be true to yourself. Be true to the things you like, the things that you like doing. The success will be a byproduct of that. This sounds very conceited to say, but it's I'd like to think that I'm a fairly grounded person. And so I like to stay realistic to what the opportunities are for us and making sure that we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves in pursuing them, because we don't want to be left holding the bag. We don't want to ruin the dynamic that we have as a family, because for us, the three of us, this household, this family is paramount. It is the absolute most important thing. And so, don't let any kind of success or any kind of opportunity like that tear you apart.
Ultimately, your family is more important than a view count or reactions and comments.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's that is fleeting, but your family is still going to be there. So you have to treat that relationship with respect and cherish it.
I'm a parent. I've got an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and almost 4-year-old at home. And so my kids have not gotten to the age where they are on or even care about social media yet. Mm-hmm. But I can see it coming.
Yeah.
So
hold it off as long as you can.
Well, and that's my question.
Yeah.
I want to know how you went about navigating Molly's relationship with social media, and how you, Molly, honestly feel about it as someone who is a teenager right now in this era when social media is everywhere and its effects have now been studied and are proving to be fairly toxic, but also it's everywhere. It's where people's social lives play out. And so there's this sort of tug of war between, well, I want to be a part of the scene where my friends are, and I want to understand the culture and the memes and the references that they make, but also I don't want to be crippled with depression and anxiety and not enjoy my life.
I tell you what, it is paralyzing. At first, it's oh, yeah, I could post pictures. It's so much fun. I love posting pictures and stories and all that. That's always so much fun. And I love, doing all that. But just scrolling, and it just gets to a point where it's just oh my God, I feel my guts are rotting right now. If you can hold it off as long as you can, hold it off as long as you can. My mom has set screen time limits on Instagram since the minute I got it. I tell you what, I only have 2 hours on Instagram a day. Prior to that, it was an hour.
And you still don't have TikTok.
I had TikTok, and I tell you what, I hated TikTok.
You loved it so much, you ended up hating it.
I loved it so much, I ended up hating it, because every single time that I opened up TikTok, I found myself just getting so much depressing content all the time. So I was just I don't want to watch this, because every single time I leave, I'm so sad. I don't every once in a while I'll look at it to see what my friends post, but that's 3 times a year, not even.
It seems like there's a recognition that this is a thing that makes me feel icky, so I need to limit my exposure to it. Kevin and Jess, was it always like that, bringing her up? How did you go about setting limitations versus letting her explore and arrive at that conclusion on her own?
I think with TikTok is where it really started. That was the first kind of social media platform that she had, because her friends had it and everybody was doing the cute dances. And so we're okay, it appears harmless because at the time it was just everybody's just doing the latest dance trend. And
yeah, it was 2019. It was before it became what it is today. It was because it was just rolling off of Musical.ly. So it was just everybody was just singing and dancing. There was nothing bad to it.
But then it started to turn into the monster that it is now. And as she was describing earlier, she would sit and just like scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. She'd come down to dinner and she'd have black circles under her eyes and she would barely talk to us at the dinner table. And after we took it away, all of a sudden she was coming to dinner, black circles are gone, and she was chatty about everything that was going on in her life. And I was like, that's all the evidence that I need that after the break that she was mandated from TikTok, that she wasn't going to get it back on her phone. So she still doesn't have it on her phone. She has it on her PC. She can access it there, but she's actually gone to the point where she installed a Chrome plugin to limit her time on that as well, because she has found herself still falling back into that rabbit hole. So
yeah, I've given myself 20 minutes. Like,
this is like a learned behavior. Like, this is something that you learned from your parents.
Yeah. Because I don't know, I started having screen time all the way like in 4th grade. So, I was just kind of like growing up with, there are limitations to having a screen. Nowadays it's more loosey-goosey, but I don't know, that's just kind of a part of it. So I don't know, even if like you took like my Instagram screen time away, I would still be like, okay, I have to use my time preciously. If I'm sitting with a friend and I'm on Instagram and then they start talking to me, I close it and and we talk and then I open it back up again. Like, I'm saving each second of it.
But that's healthy.
Yeah, I know. But even if like I got that weight off of it, like, I tell you what, I would still be doing the same exact thing.
And we still require no phones at dinner. Like
no phone at dinner.
Yeah. We always eat dinner together and phones are not allowed at the table.
That's a huge rule. No, I like that a lot. That's great.
Yeah, it's hugely important.
Of course, as those pushy Fox News producers pointed out when they were trying to fly them out to New York, Molly was only one half of the duo whose viral magic made the world chuckle. And while she has grown into a remarkable young woman who's getting her driver's license this summer, the passage of 15 years means that Benny the dog, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
Oh, he was the sweetest boy.
He was. And
he was the best dog.
The line that we said the whole time was that we were really happy that we got to share the joy that he brought into our lives with the world in the way that we did, because he made millions of people laugh around the world. And that was just a small amount of what he did for our family every single day. And we miss him.
That's a really sweet tribute. I like that.
Yeah.
Last question that I have then, and this is an important one, maybe the most important question of the interview. Does Molly still have that laugh?
I don't know.
I mean,
Does that sound like it?
To be honest with you, that was even unique for its time. That was a very rare appearance of that laugh, and it was never really replicated after that. She always obviously had a great laugh, but even, as a baby, I didn't hear anything like that again. So it truly was a one-off thing.
Yeah. She still has the joy that exuded from that laugh. So.
Do you know that one trend where people would like exhale all the air out of them and then like someone would press on their chest and they start laughing?
No.
To show like they're real. Okay, well, it's a thing. Look it up after this. You exhale all of your hair out and then you cross your arms and then somebody presses down on your chest and you start like laughing and it shows like your real laugh. And I still think mine's very similar to it. It's very giggly, but it's just a lot deeper now. But I still kind of see it in some ways.
Well, guys, this has been super awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story. And also, couldn't have happened to nicer people is maybe my favorite thing about this. But Molly, Kevin, Jess, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Lead Balloon.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, thank you for tuning in. Here on Lead Balloon, these are the sorts of mass communication freakonomics moments that we love to tell the stories of. So we hope to see you back here in this feed again sometime soon. Follow us on your favorite podcast app, and please tell your friends. That is the best way for me to grow this into something that actually pays the bills around here. Or hire us to make a podcast for your company. Because Lead Balloon is produced by PodCamp Media, where we help global brands use podcasting to tell worthwhile stories and connect with their audiences. Our podcast studios are located in the heart of beautiful downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We work with brands all over North America to help them launch and build podcasts that work. Check out our website, podcampmedia.com. Music for this episode by Reveille. And until the next time, folks, thanks for listening. I'm Dusty Weiss.
You mind if we make one more stop before heading back? I need to run a Target.
100%. Let's RTT. You thinking of stuff for the dorm?
Yeah. My mom gave me some good tips on must-have essentials. We for sure need underbed storage, handheld iron for wrinkles, maybe even a mini Keurig for Mondays. Am I right?
All right, bet. Because I was already thinking about keeping my clothes looking fresh at college, so you better be sharing that.
Of course, man. Whatever I get on this run is yours too.
Twin.
But for real, let's go before they close.
Find everything you need for college at Target.